friends, this is Katie from Lady Red Crafting, and today's video is all about pumpkins. And without further ado, let's get started with craft number 1. We're going to start this craft with one of the foam pumpkins from the Dollar Tree and some yarn that we got at the Dollar Tree. And I'm measuring the yarn out in 18-inch strips. And once we have our first strip of yarn cut, I'm going to go ahead and measure out 11 additional pieces. So we need a total of 12 18-inch pieces of yarn. Once we have everything together, I'll just tie those pieces together with a knot. And for our next step, we're going to tape the yarn down to the table. And I'm taking 4 strands of each into 3 different bunches. And we're going to do a basic braid, and we'll braid that all the way down to the bottom. And once we get the braid complete, we'll just finish with a knot. This is one of my favorite pumpkins to make in the fall. It's fun because you get to make a whole bunch of little braids. I usually make 34 to 35 braids per pumpkin, and it's something you can do while you're just watching TV for a little bit, and you just need something to do while you're relaxing that doesn't take much effort at all. And now that our braids are complete, let's move on to the next step. I'm taking a wine cork and some ribbon that I have from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to wrap the ribbon around the wine cork. And every few wraps, I'll use a little bit of hot glue just to make sure everything stays into place. And I really like this ribbon from the Dollar Tree. It has like just a little circle that you can cut out. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to cut one of the little circles out, and I just hot glue that right on the top of the wine cork. And this is going to be the stem for our pumpkin. And I just think it adds a lot of character and makes it look so pretty. Now, if you don't want to wrap it with fabric, you could also paint the cork or just leave the cork the way it is. So the Dollar Tree carries a bunch of these different types of foam pumpkins. You might see them in white, black, or orange. And I'm just going to cut a circle out of the top and of the bottom of this foam pumpkin. Now here comes the fun part, putting the pumpkin together. We're going to take all of those braids that you made and we're going to stuff them in the pumpkin on the top and on the bottom. You're welcome to hot glue them if you'd like, but as you can see, once you start putting a bunch of these braids into this pumpkin, it stays in pretty secure. So you don't have to hot glue if you don't want to. When you get to the last few braids, sometimes you need to push the other braids that are around the pumpkin out just so that you can make sure to fit all of the braids in. And the tighter you get them in there, the better. And once you're all done, your pumpkin's gonna look like this. Now I'm gonna take my wine cork and insert it into the top part of this pumpkin. Off camera, I made a cute messy bow. And if you haven't made a messy bow before, you're just basically layering 2, 3, 4 pieces of ribbon and you tie them in the center. And I wanted to add a little bit more detail, so I added a raffia bow right to the center of the messy bow, and I'm just gonna hot glue that. And it didn't quite stick the first time, so I did have to add a little bit more hot glue, and I used my makeup applicator this time to really press that bow in. And now our pumpkin is complete. I love how this one turned out. And I can't wait to make a whole bunch more for the fall season. Craft number 2. We're going to start this craft today using a wood pumpkin from the Dollar Tree and a metal sign from the Dollar Tree and some mini pumpkins. I'm going to take this wood pumpkin and we're going to put it on a paintable surface, and using our Waverly paint and plaster, we're going to give this pumpkin a nice coat of paint. And once we're done painting, we're just going to set this aside to dry, or you're welcome to use your heat tool and dry that as well. grab the metal sign that we have from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to remove the hanger from this sign. And once we get that removed, we're going to take some hot glue and we're going to hot glue the metal sign to the center of our pumpkin. Next, I wanted to cover the holes in the metal sign. So I took 2 black buttons, and using my hot glue, I'm going to hot glue a button over each one of the holes. Now, I have this black ribbon that I got last year from Walmart for Christmas, and it is, I really like how their ribbon is at Walmart. It's nice and wired, and I just went ahead and made a basic black bow, and I'm just going to hot glue that to the top of our pumpkin here. Next, I grabbed some checkered black and white ribbon, and we're just going to go ahead and string that through the top of our pumpkin and use that for our hanger. For our final step on this project, we grabbed these cute little pumpkins from the Dollar Tree. I'm sticking with the black and white theme, so we went with the checkered ones, and I'm going to hot glue just a little magnet on the back side of each one of these pumpkins. And once we get that completed, we will have a cute little magnet board that you can hang up behind your desk or over in the kitchen or something. This will work great to put little notes on or photos or business cards during the fall season. And here's the finished project. I love how basic it is, but you can always fancy it up more if you wanted to do different colors of paint. But I think it's a great staple item for the fall. So this month, I have the pleasure of working with these wonderful creators in a pumpkin challenge playlist. Our host this month is DIY from House to Home, Happiness Created, and guest host CJ DIY. I have a link for these wonderful creators and for the playlist in my description box below. Now let's move on to craft number 3. We're going to make a beautiful centerpiece for our table, and this is super easy. Grab one of the large foam pumpkins from Walmart, a bunch of mini pumpkins from the Dollar Tree, and a circle wreath form. So we're going to start with our small wreath form and 4 packages of the mini pumpkins from the Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to go ahead and clip these pumpkins to the center of the wreath form. So it's 3 layers. It's going to be that center one right in the center there. And I just do a pattern. So I did 4 different colors, but you can do however you would like, whatever color theme you would want to do. So I felt like the clips kept everything in place pretty nice and tight, especially with how the pumpkins fit together. But if you want, you could hot glue them as well. I'm just going to show you adding the pumpkin right now. So you could just leave this as is and that could be your centerpiece. But I felt like it needed a little bit more. So I'm going to take these cute blue leaves that I got at the Dollar Tree and I'm going to take them apart off of this pick. So to remove these leaves off the pick, I'm just using my floral wires and cutting them. And what's nice is there's 2 leaves per little stem, and at the center of that stem there's a little circle, and it works great for a little zip tie. So I'm not using any hot glue for this lovely centerpiece. So once we get all of these zip ties inserted into the different leaf bunches, we're going to go ahead and just put them in between some of these mini little pumpkins and just fill in that wreath. And if you're still watching, please drop a leaf down below. Thanks! And now that we have all of those zip ties attached, we're just going to cut all of the little edges off of those zip ties. And now we're ready to just put that pumpkin right on top. And we have a beautiful centerpiece for the fall. Craft number 4. So I found this cute tin at the Dollar Tree and decided I had to have it. So now we're going to fill this in with some fun pumpkins. I'm starting out with some floral foam, and I'm using 2 little squares down at the bottom of this tin. Next, I'm going to take a pumpkin that, well, it just kind of was destroyed. So we're just going to use it as a base to help lift up one of the other pumpkins. Now I'm adding some fun Spanish moss over the top of all of these items. Next, I'm going to fill this in with a few little pumpkins. This fun sparkly pumpkin I did get at Walmart in the 98-cent box. And the other 2 pumpkins I got at Dollar Tree, and they have fun little flowers on top of them. So we're going to go ahead and hot glue these pumpkins into this tin. This needed a little bit more, so I took this pick from the Dollar Tree, and it's just one pick, and I'm just going to cut all the little pieces off of the pick to make some smaller little pieces. And I'm going to hot glue them into this cute little bin. And once we get all the picks into place, I did add a little bit more Spanish moss to fill in the bin so we didn't see that little white pumpkin that we used as a riser. And I'll flip this around, and I'm going to fill in a little bit more on the back side of this bin. So since I didn't have more than one pick, I'm just going to use this on a shelf. But if I was going to put this on a table, I probably would have put more picks on the back side of this. The last thing I wanted to do is one of the flowers that I got from the Dollar Tree just didn't look very cute in the center, and I wanted to give it a little center bling. So I added a little half bead to the center, and I feel like it just kind of completed that flower a little bit better. And now here's the final reveal of this cute little tin. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate every one of you. And remember, craft more, stress less.